iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome. This is Brett the Jet in the booth tonight for race number 3 of the ASRC Sportsman Series. Tonight, we'll see the drivers do battle here at the Iowa Speedway as we get ready to rock and roll here in qualifying. We got cars rolling out on track. Cars out on track include Hayden Swank in the 35 overtime machine. He's coming off of turn number 4, getting ready for his first time lap. We'll keep the cameras on Hayden here and see what kind of lap time he can do as he heads through 1 and 2. As you can tell, Iowa very bumpy, very loose, especially on corner exits. It's very floaty, even though it's not super big of a track, a 7/8 mile, I believe, but it runs kind of like a short track with an intermediate twist to it, as it's a pretty fun track, especially in these ARCA cars. As Hayden Swank off at turn number 4, we'll get a lot of times in here as we got a lot of cars on the speedway. Also out there on the track is the 23 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman's actually P number 2 in the points here early in the season. I think about 4 points behind Ron Hart, who will be tonight's shotgun driver. So Ron Hart will have to drive through the field here tonight. We try and make it 2 in a row for that 51 machine. But turns 3 and 4, Stephen Hoffman puts a P number 2, but off of turn number 4, Hoffman will look to improve that time and try and get that pole position, but will not be quicker. Hoffman will stay P number 3. Also out here in the 3 car is Donovan Carty here on his first time lap. Donovan at the start finish line will go P number 2 with a 23.90, so a great effort for lap number 1. He'll see if he can improve that lap time, but these ARCA cars do have a lot of tire wear with these general tires that usually the newness wears off even after 1 lap, especially pushing as hard as you are here in qualifying. As Carty off of turn number 4 will not improve that lap time. Hayden Swank still at the top of your board. Also 1 car starting his first time lap. That's Kyle Munson, a ex-season champion in the blue division. Munson looking to run out here. He's been having some really good luck, especially in the RC world. I've been keeping tabs on him, and he has done some impressive stuff in the RC world with his short course and I forget what the other cars are. You gotta forgive me, Kyle, but he's won some pretty big races here, so pretty impressive stuff as Kyle Munson. Lap number 1, 24.88. He was a very late entry. I think these are his first laps here at Iowa, so he's just trying to get that track figured out for the most part as Kyle Munson through 3 and 4 for the final time here in qualifying. He'll jump on the loud pedal, get a pretty good run off of turn number 4. But let's see if he improves that lap time. He will. He'll put it P number 11 as we got 14 cars out here on the raceway as Kyle Munson will slow that thing. But Hayden Swank gets the job done in that 35 overtime machine. We saw it live, and he will put it P number 1. As I believe everyone in the session has put down a lap, so top 5 looking like Hayden Swank, Donovan Carty, Andrew Payne, Stephen Hoffman, and Devin McDonald rounding out the top 5. And as you can tell, some pretty close lap times from 1st through 9th, all within about 0.2 of each other. Then it starts getting spread out with drivers trying to figure out this car and track combo. But everyone pretty much within a second of each other, except for old Tanner Tallarico. I think he might be playing a little bit of invert games or whatnot, because we do have a heat race. This is the short track format here from the American Sim Racing Club Sportsman Series. There will be a 30-lap heat race with the 60-lap feature event. So a lot of racing here tonight with a lot of good formats trying on out. So we will have to see how these heat races go, as I believe it's a full field invert for these 30 laps. We'll run over some of the race format here. This is the 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway. A little bit of banking, and it looks like a pretty cool night here in Iowa. Nice 70 degrees, a little bit of humidity, a little bit of wind. And of course, we got to give a shout out to all the viewers that are tuning on in here for this Monday night series. If you're looking to join a sweet league and be a part of the Race in Action, get to see yourself live on YouTube and the replay, share it with all your friends. It's always fun rewatching these videos and whatnot. Be sure to check out AmericanSimRacingClub.com. As we get ready to rock and roll, I believe we got cars out on pit road as we'll run through tonight's starting order for the heat race of the night. Heat race will look like the following. Hayden Swank will lead us to green in that 35 machine. Starting to his outside of row number 1 is Donovan Carty. Row number 2 be made up of Andrew Payne with Stephen Hoffman. Row number 3 is Devin McDonald in 5th with Brian Wildison in 6th. 7th goes to Dave Payne with Lee Campbell in that Sonic 27 machine in 8th. 9th will be Ron Hart, who will be starting at the back with an EOL from winning last week. With rounding out the top 10 is Nathan Henry in the 59. 11th is Kyle Munson in the 28th. 12th is Deontay Hero in that 00 machine. 13th will be John DeMeester in the Blue Deuce, and rounding out the heat race starting order tonight is Tanner Tallarico in the 1. We got cars rocking and rolling here, getting up to speed, as this time by will be the wave lap for these guys. We will have one pace lap here since this is below a mile length in track, so give your favorite driver a wave here for the heat race. These guys will do 30 laps in the heat race, and then of course 60 in the main event. Also, they're not just racing for nothing here in these heat races. They got some very valuable bonus points that will help them in the championship run later in the season. So a lot to race for here in the heat race, as we got a nice 14 car field here at the Iowa Speedway. Next time by at the start finish line, we'll be going green, and Hayden Swank will be leading us to that. As we'll get the ticker going up in the top of your screen, as these boys are ready to do battle. We get ready for the Iowa Speedway. This track always puts on some great action no matter what cars show up here. Tonight we got the ARCA cars or the old Gem 4 cars, if you recognize them from that. As we get ready to go racing for the heat race, we wait for the iRacing pace car to head off at turn number 4. And these boys off at turn number 4, ready to do battle. We wait for Hayden Swank. He jumps on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing here at Iowa. The field dives down into turn number 1 here. Hayden Swank with the slight advantage over Stephen Hoffman there in second. Andrew Payne trying to get a run on that bottom side, but that top side very strong. One car a little loose in the back. That looked like Deontay here is contact for the race lead. Stephen Hoffman gets in the back of Hayden Swank. Swank somehow hangs on to it as Brian Wilderson picks up the lead, as I think further on back, Lee Campbell goes around in the 27 machine. A little bit of chain reaction, but a few cars almost going around, but that 27 machine, the first car to go around, bring out the yellow flag. We'll take a look here at the turn 3 replay, as I believe some cars were checking up further cars in front, not realizing what was going on further and back. As you see, we're looking at the 27 machine of Lee Campbell, and oh yeah, it gets tagged by the 00 Mopar machine of Deontay here. Lee Campbell saw the smoke, tried to check up, and I think Deontay got a lot of rear bumper from Lee Campbell. Didn't quite see what was going on in front of him and got in the back of him. We'll ride on board with Deontay here as we see what happened. As you can see the contact to Hayden Swank up in front. I don't know how Hayden Swank held onto it, as yeah, you can't really see the car slowing on up down low, and gets just in the back of Deontay here, Deontay here. We're right on board with. He gets in the back of Lee Campbell, sends him on around, and that puts the yellow out. But Hayden Swank with another great save. We'll see if we can maybe ride on board with Hayden Swank here on the wheel with the helmet cam. You can see the contact there, just how sideways this car is. Hayden Swank working that wheel. Look at those hands as he somehow hangs onto that car. But Brian Wilderson sneaks on around that top side before they're wrecking in the mirror there, and brings out the yellow flag as we go back live here. As we get the signal for 2 to green, as we had Lee Campbell come down pit road to get some damage repaired on that car. He took a pretty good shot to that outside wall, so he's getting that thing repaired, as Brian Wilderson will be leading us to green here. Hayden Swank still able to hold on to that second position. Looks like Stephen Hoffman did claim that yellow for getting in the back of Hayden there, so very gentlemanlike. You know, ASRC always has some great courteous drivers here. You know, if they know they're at fault, we'll always see them tap on the roof, and that's still the case here tonight here at Iowa. This time by here at the start finish line, the lights should go out on the iRacing pace car. That they do. So next time by, we'll be going green flag racing here. The lineup looking like the following: Brian Wilderson in the 951 down low, Hayden Swank in the 35 to his outside, row number 2 Devin McDonald in the 18 with Andrew Payne in the 93 starting in 4th, row number 3 Dave Payne in the 38 with Nate Henry in the 59. Nate already up 4 positions in that 59 machine, so keep an eye on that 59 Mopar machine. He had a pretty good run at Lucas Oil last week, had a lot of speed late in that race, so Nate Henry looking to keep that momentum there in that white and black with the red rims monster machine. As off of turn number 4, the field comes away for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. As it does so, now we wait for Brian Wilderson. He jumps on the loud pedal here in the restart zone. We go back to green flag racing here at the Iowa Speedway. Everyone pretty spread out through this field. You see Ron Hart making a move as the leaders dive down into turn number 1. Brian Wilderson ripping the bottom side, able to roll that thing nicely, as Hayden Swank a little bit loose off of turn number 2, but he's got a big run at Wilderson into turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, the field comes Andrew Payne looking to the high side of Devin McDonald. Andrew Payne with a big run here heading into turn number 1. He'll shut the door on Devin McDonald, as now Dave Payne will try and get on around him a little bit further back. Deontay here big time sideways in 1 and 2. He was looking to the outside of that 59 machine of Nathan Henry. Alrighty, a lot of cars moving on around, trying some different lines. You see Nate Henry and Deonta Hero, both cars up in that middle groove already in 1 and 2. So, excuse me, 3 and 4 also here in 1 and 2. They're some of the highest cars on the speedway here as we look a little bit further on out. But for the race lead, these 3 cars kind of closing the gap as you see Dave Payne dive down to the inside of Devin McDonald there for the 5th position. Hayden Swank looks to the inside just a little bit. Andrew Payne right on the back bumper there of Hayden Swank into turn number 1. He has to back up that entry, but look at that run. He gets off the corner. He'll go right to the back bumper of the 35 machine. Now look to the inside and throw it on in there into turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, side-by-side battle for 2nd and for 4th here on the speedway. Here with 21 still to go in the heat race as things are far from getting over in the racing on the speedway. As this battle for 2nd is one of the best on the speedway. You see Andrew Payne taking it to the top shelf in 3 and 4. He's trying to wind that thing on up. We'll see what kind of run that 93 QuickTime Motorsports Media Machine heads into turn number 1. He'll once again go to that top side here and probably try and make his move here off of turn number 2. He's got the nose to the outside of Hayden Swank. Hayden has to respect that as Andrew Payne keeping the momentum on the top side. He'll stay on up there here off of turn number 4. He'll have a big run here once again. These drivers able to move around a good amount here at the Iowa Speedway, especially in this heat race. 30 laps will wear the tires pretty good, but not as long as the feature event. These drivers can go a little bit harder than, let's say, a feature event where you're more keen on saving those tires. But you see Andrew Payne trying that top side. You gotta wonder, will his tires hang on for these last 18 laps as Brian Wilderson still hanging on to the race lead, as now Hayden Swank under fire from Devin McDonald and Dave Payne. Hayden Swank kind of getting freight trained on this bottom side on that 35 machine. I'm trying to move up here sooner than later as now he runs the middle groove. That moves Dave Payne up to the very top side. Devin McDonald big time sideways off of turn number 4. He hangs onto that car but loses that momentum. They'll go 3 wide as these 3 drivers throw it into turn number 1. Also further up front, battle for the race lead. Andrew Payne trying to make a move on Brian Wilderson as now Dave Payne has the advantage to Devin McDonald here as these 2 will come off in turn number 4. Almost touch as Dave Payne almost gets the wall. Devin McDonald, these guys are racing hard here for that 3rd position. Devin McDonald trying to get as much of the racetrack as he can. Dave Payne trying to get in that preferred groove, keep that momentum. As down the backstretch, it looks like Dave Payne will clear Devin McDonald. Devin will slide right up to that top side, make sure Hayden Swank does not get a nose on him. But the battle for the race lead here heating on up as Andrew Payne putting the pressure to Wilderson here with 15 laps to go. We're halfway done in this feature race. Andrew Payne once again looking to this top side. He'll try and make a run here on Brian Wilderson as you can see that how much of a run he can get as he closes the door, shoots to the inside. We'll try the crossover here into turn number 1. This is the battle for the race lead as Nate Henry now putting the pressure to, oh man, almost gets to the back of Devin McDonald and Hayden Swank. Nate Henry had to check up big time, but Andrew Payne able to make the move. He will take over the point here with 14 laps to go as Brian Wilderson trying to keep that pressure on the back bumper of that 93 machine. Andrew Payne trying to check on out. One car making his way back through the field. That is the 3 of Donovan Carty. He's currently battling here with the 59 of Nate Henry as Andrew Payne checking on out here in the front of the field. As now Donovan trying to set his sights on Hayden Swank in that 35 machine. Also another guy that started deep in this field. He had to do the shotgun challenge. He's already up to 8th. That is the 51 machine of Ron, the Hitman Hart, in this 51 Arca Menards car. As you can see here, folks, everyone pretty much up in this top group. A little bit further back, 3 wide racing action with some contact. Deontay Heuer into the wall, Tanner Tallarico and Stephen Hoffman. We caught that one live as some big time contact for these drivers as this brings out the second caution in the heat race. We'll take a look to see what happened, but it looked like some 3 wide gone wrong as we'll take a look at the turn 3 replay. Kyle Munson on the top side, Deontay Heuer in the middle, Tanner Tallarico down low. Looks like Deontay Heuer maybe, of course, trying to respect the 3 wide. Pinch Tanner down just a little bit more than Tanner was expecting, as we'll try and back it up a little bit further here in the replay to see what happened. As off of turn number 4, it looks like, oh yeah, Deontay maybe gets a little bit loose because that car drifting down the whole time, never really strains on out. Gets in the right side of Tanner Tallarico and some heavy contact for all 3 cars there involved in this one. As let's ride on board with Stephen Hoffman and ride on board, see what he saw as we look at the back bumper of that Berlin Raceway number 1 machine. As yeah, it looked like Deontay Heuer never really got straight, even though this front stretch is a big curve. They still got strained on out. As yeah, you see Deontay Heuer's right front pretty damaged with it being disconnected. Tanner with another shot there. As we go live, we got some cars down pit road. We got Andrew Payne leading the good chunk of the field down pit road. The cars staying out are Dave Payne, Devin McDonald, Ron Hart, and Kyle Munson, that stayed on out here inside of 10 laps to go. So they're hoping to hang on to at least fairly decent finish position here while these cars down pit road will try and get some fresh sticker tires. As the cars that did come down pit road, folks, a little bit of tire strategy from Brian Woodison and Donovan Carty. Both of them elected to take 2 tires, so we'll keep an eye on them. The first car with 4 fresh is Andrew Payne, so we're going to have a pretty hectic restart. Some cars with old tires, some cars with new tires, and of course a lot of racing grooves to be chosen. As a field, again, the 1.5 to go back to green flag racing action. It looks like Dave Payne will be leading the way. At the stripe here, the lights will get extinguished on top of the iRacing pace car. We are going green next time by. Cars to keep an eye out for is Brian Wilderson in the 951, Donovan Carty in the 3, and Andrew Payne and Hayden Swank. All the front runners with new tires from rows 3 on back. So we'll have to see if they have enough laps to make those new tires work. As once we go green flag racing, we will have 6 laps to go here in this heat race tonight at the Iowa Speedway. As we get ready for a hectic restart here, we wait for now Dave Payne. He jumps on the loud pedal here. We go back to green flag racing action here at the Iowa Speedway. And we got to keep an eye. We got to go out a little bit further and check out this field heading into turn number 1. Keep an eye on that 951, that 3, and the 93. All on fresh tires, already making their way around Kyle Munson. As we get a battle for the race lead, Dev McDonald looking to challenge Dave Payne here as the field dives down into turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, they'll come and they will see 5 laps to go as Brian Wilderson already almost there. He's to the inside of Ron Hart there for 3rd position. As you can tell how good those new tires are. Wilderson very fast through the middle of the corner. He's door to door with Dave Payne for second down the backstretch. Hayden Swank with a big run down the backstretch. He looks to the inside of Ron Hart, 3 wide there. Off of turn number 4 they come. Battle for the race lead here. Brian Wilson looking to the inside of Devin McDonald. McDonald parking in that top lane, hoping to keep that momentum up as they are still 3 wide now. Dave Payne in the sucker hole. He's got Donovan to his outside, Hayden Swank to his inside as Brian Wilson looking to get around Devin McDonald here. This race is intense. A lot of 3 wide through 2 rows deep. Off of turn number 4 they come. Brian Wilson will lead this lap, just beating Devin McDonald, but it's far from over as Donovan Cardy trying to keep that momentum going in that 3. He gets to the outside of Devin McDonald off of turn number 4. 4 wide. Andrew Payne into Hayden Swank. Andrew Payne into the wall. As we stay somehow still racing, Hayden Swank trying to get that car back rolling as he spun off. Oh, as Donovan Cardy now goes around off of turn number 4. That will bring out the yellow flag. And wow, a lot was happening there, folks. That was some awesome racing as we got to take a look at the replay here and see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. As through 3 and 4, oh, Cardy just clips the back bumper of Devin McDonald. Just barely gets in the back of Donovan Cardy. That will bring out the yellow flag as we try and figure out. We'll jump on board with Devin McDonald. And yeah, just probably got tight with those old tires, trying to keep up for the race lead. And Donovan Cardy on the short end of the stick. He luckily didn't hit the wall too hard, but still a little bit of damage to that good wrench number 3 machine as Brian Wilson takes over the point. Devin McDonald hangs on to second, Ron Hart in third. As a little bit earlier, we had some 4 wide racing down the backstretch. We'll take a look at that to see the incident before, as we got 4 cars deep as off of turn number 2 they come and just run out of room, as here's where they get pinched. Devin McDonald just moves down a little and big time contact to the inside wall with Hayden Swank. And that was just before when the yellow flag was thrown, as we get a wreck almost at the same time off of turn number 4. As we are under our 3rd yellow flag here for the heat race. This heat race, of course, sets the feature event with a little bit of an invert. So these guys racing hard, and the night is far from over as we still got a 60 lap main event to run here after this. We will have an attempt at a green-white checkered here for the end of the heat race. This time by, we should see the lights go out on the iRacing pace car. And Brian Wilson will go back to the point in the 951. He has 2 fresh tires on that car. Devin McDonald in second, no fresh tires. Same with Ron Hart in third. Tanner Tallarico has the first car on 4 freshies, so we got to keep an eye on that 1 car here at the end. As that time by, we did get the 2 to green sign, so a lap and a half till we go back to green flag racing action here at the Iowa Speedway. This time by at the start finish line, we see the lights go out on the pace car. We'll double file them up, re-rack them, restack them, and get ready for our first attempt at a green-white checkered here in the heat race. As even with all these incidents in the heat race, we still got 11 cars out here. And of course, if your favorite driver did get involved in an incident here in the heat race, they got a brand new car waiting for them for this feature event, so their night is far from over. As off of turn number 4, we wait for the iRacers pace car to dart down pit road, and then Brian Wilderson will lead us into the race start zone. He jumps on the loud pedal here, and we go back green flag racing action here at Iowa for a green-white checkered. As Brian Wilderson gets away with a great start as the field dives down into turn number 1. Everyone trying to hang on. Dave Payne sliding on back with those old tires. He goes from leading us in the last one all the way to 10th position as Ron Hart, big slide job, a little bit of contact from Devin McDonald. They somehow hang on to it. We see the white flag here. One more lap to go as Devin McDonald and Ron Hart both leaning on each other. Kyle Munson almost into the door of Tanner Tallarico. Tanner has to chase that car up the speedway off of turn number 2 and through 3 and 4 for the final time. Brian Wilderson by himself up front. He'll pick up the heat win, and it'll be a race for P2 and 3 off of turn number 4. Ron Hart will just beat out Devin McDonald, Tanner Tallarico in 4th, and Kyle Munson rounds out the top 5 as that was a very entertaining heat race, as we'll be talking to the heat winner here in just a second. That will be Brian Wilderson in the 951 machine, but we'll be right back after commercial break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We come back here to the Iowa Speedway, and I believe we have Brian Wilderson dialed on up on the other end. He picked up the heat win after leading the most laps, and of course getting the job done at the end, so we'll see if he's got a copy. Brian, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, how's it going?
Pretty good, Brian. Heck of a heat race there. Tell us a little bit about it. That was pretty entertaining there at the end, but that 951 machine looked fast even before those pit stops.
Yeah, that was an exciting heat race. I think Andrew Payne definitely had the best of me there. He ran me down. We had a good battle for about 10 laps or so, but I wore my tires out, so I was kind of glad to see that pit stop and kind of get a strategy there and try some new tires out. And it was definitely quite an advantage to have some new tires there in that restart.
Yeah, I tell you what, you guys were moving with those new tires there on that restart. It looked like, Brian, you were able to have at least 3 miles an hour faster in the middle of the corner there, at least on my end here from the top of the tower.
Yeah, I didn't think we would have it would be too many laps before we get through them guys that didn't take tires, just because the tire wear here is the tire fall off here is so huge. So it's definitely something to keep in mind for the main event. I'm not sure how many tires we get, but that's definitely going to be one of the leading factors here in this race.
Yeah, that will be the key. Saving that right front here at Iowa, because, you know, the sooner you go up to that top side, yeah, it's fast, but, man, does it kill that right front, I bet. Yeah, Brian, a little bit about those tire wear. What'd you learn from there, besides how important it is to save those tires?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about managing how many laps you have left. Luckily, that was a heat race, and we were just trying to go as hard as we could, as fast as we could. So we found out real quick how fast we could burn them off.
Yeah, that you did, Brian. This feature event will be double the length, so I think we'll see a little bit more conservative driving, let's say, at the start of the race. But, of course, everyone will be turning it up at the end. So, yeah, Brian, before we let you go and get ready, get your head in the right spot for this invert, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle. Coming from the back, it probably wasn't a real smart move to win the the heat race. But hey, I'm up for a challenge, so it'll be fun.
Alrighty, Brian, before we let you go, I'll hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 951 machine. Hopefully we'll be, of course, talking to you by the end of the night as well.
I just got to thank you, Brett, for putting on these broadcasts and giving us something to look back and see just how we did compared to everybody else. That's kind of fun every week, and everybody else that tunes in and watches these races.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Brian, best of luck to you here in the main event.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that will do it for Brian Wilderson picking up the heat race #1 win as we get ready here at the end of warm-up to dial up the main event and get ready to do battle here for 60 laps. As warm-ups wrap on up here, we get ready now for the main event. We'll be running through that order once everyone gets the calls to head to their cars and figure out what is the best game plan here going forward. We saw a lot of guys jump to this top side here early. We'll have to see if that will be the case again as we have cars down in the front stretch area. We get ready to run through tonight's starting order. Starting on the pole is Deontay Heuer in the 000 machine. Starting to his outside is Stephen Hoffman in the 23 Trading Paints and Win Nelson machine. Starting in the third position, the Overtime Season 35 machine piloted by Hayden Swank. To his outside is the Blue Deuce, John DeMeester in the 2 starting in fourth. Fifth will go to Lee Campbell in the 27 Sonic machine. Starting in the 6th position is Dave Payne in the Pinkerton Oil. 7th will go to Andrew Payne in the V&H Fresh QuickTime Motorsports Media 93. Starting in the 8th position is Donovan Carty in the 3 Goodwrench Dale Earnhardt machine. 9th will be Nathan Henry in the Monster Energy 59. 10th will go to Kyle Munson in the 28 machine. 11th is Tanner Tallarico in the Berlin Raceway #1. Starting to his outside in 12th is Devin McDonald in the Snap-on #18 machine. Our final row here tonight. Had to start shotgun here from winning last week. He's ready to go back through the field. It is Ron Hart in the 51 Menards. And the heat race winner, the man himself, we heard from him. It's the 951 of Brian Wilderson, having to pass 14 cars here in this main event. As off of turn #4 of the field comes, it's the wave lap. Get on up, give your favorite drivers a wave, let me know who you're cheering on. As next time by, we'll be going green flag racing for 60 laps here at the Iowa Speedway. Stephen Hoffman currently 4 points behind Ron Hart. He gets to start up front in this feature event, so he's hoping to check on out, get some bonus points, and try and close on that gap to the 51 machine, who has to start all the way back in the 13th position. As off of turn number 4 of the field comes the iRacing pace car, heads down pit road, and we get ready. The 000 machine jumps on the loud pedal. We are green flag racing here at the Iowa Speedway for 60 laps of the main event. Ron Hart already looking to the inside of Tanner Tallarico as the field dives down into turn number 1. A great restart by the top 3. Hayden Swank already on the back bumper of Deontay here, but further on back, almost 3 wide racing action as we see John DeMeester falling on back to this top side, letting everyone by, knowing that, hey, he wants to be here in the long haul. He's trying to save those tires as everyone a little sketchy on cold tires. Everyone's still able to point their race cars in the right direction. As up front, Hayden Swank able to get around Deontay here big time sideways off of turn number 2 as he'll dive it down into turn number 3. Try and look to the inside of Hayden Swank as Hayden out there in front has to be a little bit careful, does not want to burn off those tires too quickly as we have double the length of our heat race as he is checking on out in front. Now Stephen Hoffman looking to the top side of the 000 machine. Down the back stretch the field comes. Looks like Hoffman will be able to clear, so he will take over the second position. As further on back, Andrew Payne looking to the top side of Dave Payne off of turn number 4. Andrew Payne with a big run, but nowhere to go. As one car in the wall, that's Devin McDonald in the 18 machine. He got a piece of that front stretch wall, and these cars, very difficult once they get in the wall of their back end. These cars are a little skewed, so what that means, folks, is the bodies are purposely put on the cars a little bit sideways. Try and get a little bit extra downforce on the spoiler. And so if you get a piece of that wall with that right rear, it takes a lot of force. You almost have to yank the car off the wall. And of course, anytime you're in the safer barrier, especially here on the iRacing simulator, it slows down the car a ton. As Andrew Payne able to get around Dave Payne and Lee Campbell. He sits in 4th. Dave Payne now sits in 5th. A little bit further back now, Donovan Carty looking to get around Lee Campbell as he gets in the wall. Same with Ron Hart. And like I was saying, folks, you see Donovan Carty still in the wall. How much it takes to get that car off the wall. He really had to yank that thing. Luckily, very aware he kept it in the wall to not yank it off with a car to his inside and maybe right rear hook someone, as Ron Hart did follow him into the wall as well. Ron Hart lost a handful of spots because of it. Now Nate Henry and Kyle Munson both duking it out here as Munson will throw the block on Ron Hart. Also in this battle, in that chrome number 1 machine, that is Tanner Tallarico, as Munson big time sideways off of turn number 2. He had to bobble save that car. That will open up the door to Ron Hart as Kyle Munson under fire from Devin McDonald, who has a big send into turn number 3. Right to the back bumper of that 28 machine, that 18 machine threw it on in there. Now he'll try and look to, I assume he'll go to the top side, try and follow Tanner Tallarico around this 28 machine. As Devin McDonald looks to the inside now, he'll try and get the run on the inside. Devin McDonald going to the low side of the 28. We'll see what kind of run he can get off the corner, off at turn number 2. This battle goes on for the 10th position. As Hayden Swank still has some gap over Stephen Hoffman, as these guys getting very close. Also further up in front, it looks like Nate Henry trying to get around the 27 machine of Lee Campbell. This is the battle for 6th on the speedway. Also further on up, Deontay here holding off Andrew Payne. Andrew trying to make it around this 000 machine. Deontay looking pretty strong here in the main event. Started on the pole, only has fallen back to that 3rd position as they go side by side for P number 3 down the front stretch. Deontay here will throw it on into turn number 1. He'll cut it down low, let it push on up just a little. But Andrew Payne a lot sooner on the throttles. Ron Hart big time sideways, and Nate Henry goes on around down the backstretch. That will bring out our first yellow flag in the main event. We'll have to see if Nate Henry did get some help or what happened as we take a look at the turn 3 replay. Off at turn number 2 they come, as this was an intense battle between these 3, as it looks like maybe Ron Hart looking to the inside of Lee Campbell. Yeah, and it looks like Nate Henry wasn't expecting Ron to be that low, trying to make it 3 wide. Nate Henry trying to drift on up in the normal way and just gets into the door of Ron Hart. That might be a racing deal, folks, as we'll jump on board with Nate Henry as we'll see what happens. As Nate Henry probably not expecting it to go 3 wide here, as you'll see Ron Hart just appear right there, and right smack dab after it, Nate Henry goes around with the contact as we go back to live here. And it looks like no real takers down pit road, only a few, that being Kyle Munson, Donovan Carty, and of course Nate Henry, probably getting a little bit of damage repairs. So with this yellow flag, we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. Alrighty, we are back at the Iowa Speedway here for the main event. Hayden Swank will be leading us to green. I think this time by, we should see the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car. That we do. So next time by, we will go green flag racing action as this bunches back up the field. Those guys kind of battling in the mid-pack, getting a chance to get a shot at these leaders. As the top 4 looking like the following: Hayden Swank leading us to green in the 35, Stephen Hoffman in the 23 in second, third is Deonta Hira in the 00, and Andrew Payne in the 93 and fourth. As off a turn in 3 and 4 the field comes, now we wait for the iRacing pace car to duck down pit road, and then the restart falls in the hands of Hayden Swank as the iRacing pace car does just that, makes a hard left-hand turn. Now Hayden Swank jumps on the loud pedal here. We go back to green flag racing action. Hayden Swank away with a great restart in that inside lane. About a 3-car advantage as the rest of the field dives down into turn number 1. Andrew Payne trying to make that top side roll on Deonta here. He'll be able to get clear off of turn number 2. Now Dave Payne looks to the inside of that 00 machine into turn number 3. Also further on back, Lee Campbell stuck in the middle off of turn number 4. Dan McDonald just closed the door on the 27 machine. He gets a piece of Brian Wilderson, who will spin to the inside. Somehow keeps that 951 machine off of that inside wall, but he will be losing the pack. So now he's hoping for a yellow as a tough break to the heat winner. Now Ron Hart throwing it to the inside of Dave Payne. He'll slide on up, shut the door with a little bit of a slider line. Dave Payne tries the crossover big time sideways off at turn number 4, but Dave Payne trying to do the same here into turn number 1. He'll keep it pinned down low. Ron Hart trying to roll that top side. Dave Payne sideways, both of them sideways, as now we'll see them throw it into turn number 3. Ron Hart chucking it on in there. You saw him dive it in a car length deeper than Dave Payne. who slides up and shuts the door on Ron Hart. Now Ron Hart will try and do the same. Now he's to the inside of Dave Payton. This is the battle for 5th on the speedway. Also right behind them, Donovan Carty, Tanner Tallarico, and Dev McDonald all looking to try and figure out what line they want to go in this battle with Ron Hart. Once again, big time sign. He'll slide up in front of the 38 machine. Dave Payne once again will jump to that inside line. And with these guys duking it out so hard, that is allowing the guys right behind them to stay right on their back bumper. One of them being Donovan Carty, who I think he did come down pit road and get some fresh tires. So we see a 12-lap advantage tires to the 3 machine as he's making those things work. As 3 wide off at turn number 4. Dave Payne in the middle, Ron Hart up top. Donovan Carty with those fresh tires in the 3 machine. As out front, Andrew Payne has taken over the point over Hayden Swank. Hayden Swank still in 3rd. Stephen Hoffman now gets around Hayden Swank for the 2nd position. So Hayden Swank will fall back to 3rd. He'll get a big run off at turn number 4, though. They go side by side for P number 2. These guys are far from figuring out their position, as they got to be careful. They don't want to battle too much and allow the cars behind them to get a run and ultimately catch them on the speedway. As Donovan Carty kind of in his own race in that 3 machine, he's just got to hang on to that car and not push those tires too much, because if it goes green to the end, he will be very quick at the end of this race, as the cars around him are on 12-lap older tires. He did come down during that first yellow flag as he's able to get around Deontay Hero and Ron Hart. Donovan Carty currently sits in the 4th position, as Ron Hart now trying to get around the 00 machine. Same with Dave Payne in the 38, who now is under fire from the one of Tanner Tallarico. Hayden Swank able to hang on to that 2nd position, as Andrew Payne's checked down out in front. Tanner Tallarico, big time issues off at turn number 2. Not sure if he maybe got some contact or what, but he loses 2 spots to the 18 and the 28, and now a 3rd to the 59 of Nathan Henry. Nate Henry, another car with those fresh tires. He was the cause of that last yellow. Well, I should say the yellow was brought out for him. Probably wasn't the cause of it, but he's on some fresh tires and trying to run through this field. As the battle still rages on here from about 5th on back, Dave Payne now trying to get around the 00 machine of Deontay Hero. Stephen Hoffman now under fire from Donovan Carty, and Hayden Swank also in that boat, as well as Donovan Carty trying to use those new tires to the advantage. He's all the way in the top lane trying to get to the outside. He does get to the outside of Hayden Swank off of turn number 4, and Donovan Carty will go P number 2. We'll see if he can erase Andrew Payne's lead from 1.5 seconds. He does have 12-lap newer tires, but how much tires has Andrew Payne been saving? As further on back, Kyle Munson also with those fresh tires. He is up to the 6th position. Now, Dev McDonald, Nate Henry, and Dave Payne 3 wide off of turn number 4. This battle here for the mid-pack far from over. As Devin McDonald trying to get to some fresh air, has been stuck in this mid-pack, finally has a little bit of a gap, as Ron Hart now trying to go P number 3. He started 13 on this grid, as they go 3 wide here for the 3rd position. Ron Hart trying to see what he has for these guys, see if these front runners has burned off their stuff more than him, as Stephen Hoffman looks to the inside, not quite able to get the run like those guys on the upper line. They almost made contact off at turn number 2 between Ron Hart and Hayden Swank. And once again, Ron Hart with that slider line, he has really perfected it here at the Iowa Speedway. Now Hayden Swank will try the crossover. To see if Hayden gives back a slider here, 1 and 2. We haven't seen too many of those, as Ron Hart able to keep Hayden Swank to his inside. They'll go off at turn number 4, and Ron Hart will get to P number 3, as some chatter on the comps here further on back. Dev McDonald apparently big time out of sorts They had a Code Brown moment further on back, but now Stephen Hoffman and Hayden Swank under fire from Kyle Munson, and of course battling with each other. These guys have been battling all race long. Now Kyle Munson with a big run, looking to the inside of Hayden Swank into turn number 3. That 28 machine will dive it down right on that yellow line. He'll be able to get around Hayden Swank. Now sets his sights on Stephen Hoffman for that 4th position. As we are already halfway done with this race, we saw cross flags, 2 laps to go, halfway in, halfway down. And a given update, Brian Wildison still out there in the 13th position. He's still hoping for a yellow flag as he did get sent into the grass here earlier in this. As we see now Kyle Munson making the move on Stephen Hoffman. Big time send from Munson. Hoffman will try the crossover. He'll get a big run down the backstretch, but Kyle Munson in the preferred groove. He's got the momentum here in 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, this battle goes, and Munson will be able to clear. So Munson now tries to set his sights on Ron Hart. As everyone now pretty much single filed on now. If you did take tires, you're probably in the top 5 as Nate Henry is in 6th position. One of the cars further on back with those fresh tires, but trying to get around now is Stephen Hoffman for that 5th position. Up front, we'll jump on board with Donovan McCarty, see what he's doing to try and reel in Andrew Payne. Donovan McCarty's been about a 10th faster than Andrew Payne here. As you see Andrew big time sideways off of turn number 2. We'll see how much of advantage these fresh tires have as we ride on board with the 3 machine. As once again, folks, you see Andrew Payne big time sideways as we get a yellow, folks. We get a yellow flag out here on the speedway. We got to go back to our cams here and see what happened, as I believe Dave Payne and the 38 machine may have been involved. As we'll take a look to see what brought out the yellow flag. Dave Payne and Tanner Talarico through turns 1 and 2. And oh, Tanner Talarico gives the 38 machine a big time love tap. He gets then tagged by the 27 machine, and Dave Payne gets some contact with the outside wall as Dave Payne gets some help from the 1 of Tanner Talarico. We're right on board with Dave Payne. Looking back at the 1, trying to roll that middle just a little bit better than Dave Payne, and just jumps in the throttle a little bit too early, gets in the back of him, and around that 38 car goes as he gets a piece of this outside wall here. As Tanner Talarico able to save that race car with that later on contact from Lee Campbell. As we see everyone down pit road, we'll keep an eye here at the pit lane and see who will win the race off of pit road. We'll probably not see any drivers take 2 tires just yet, but we'll have to see how this shakes on out. As we got some cars rocking and rolling off of pit road, it'll be a close race between Donovan Carty and Ron Hart. I think Carty just beat Ron Hart off of pit road. Andrew Payne with a very slow stop. He will come out of pits in the 6th position. As Donovan Carty did win the race off of pit road, Ron Hart will come out in 2nd, Munson in 3rd, Stephen Hoffman 4th, and Hayden Swank rounding out the top 5. As we will go to commercial break, we'll be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at the Iowa Speedway. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing here as Donovan Carty will be leading us to green here. Ron Hart in second, Kyle Muntz in third, Stephen Hoffman fourth. As off of turn number 4, they jump on the loud pedal. Carty gets away with a pretty good start in the 3. As we see the rest of the field dive down into turn number 1. We have 20 laps to go here at the Iowa Speedway. Everyone on even tires here. So we'll see who has the true speed as Andrew Payne trying to make up for that slow pit stop. We got a word in with the crew chief and a little bit of miscommunication. Was initially going to be a 2-tire stop, then changed it to 4 at the last second. They had to send the guys back over to do the left sides. So that's why Andrew Payne had a very slow stop as we see a battle for the race lead between Donovan Carty and Ron Hart off of turn number 2. Carty puts that thing in the middle of the speedway trying to take away Ron Hart's line as Andrew Payne now to the top of Stephen Hoffman. Right to the back bumper of Ron Hart, that 93 machine goes. So Andrew Payne trying to make something happen here on that top side. Now this is kind of similar to the heat race as there is a little bit of tire saving to be had, but not as much as we saw in the first end as Ron Hart goes to the top shelf, takes away Andrew Payne's line. Andrew Payne now under fire from Stephen Hoffman a little bit as Payne now looks to the inside of Hart into turn number 1. He'll come off at turn number 2. Andrew Payne big time sideways. That will open up the door now to Stephen Hoffman to the outside. Andrew Payne having to save that car big time. You saw him working those front tires trying to keep that thing underneath him as now he'll have to take a lap to regroup, recool off that right rear, and most importantly get back the momentum here. As down the backstretch the field comes, Donovan Carty with the lead, but Ron Hart starting to close the gap. Andrew Payne now looking to the top of Stephen Hoffman. Andrew Payne a little bit sideways, gets that thing to crack right before the wall. He'll go right on the back bumper into turn number 1 of Stephen Hoffman. Also a little bit further back, Kyle Munson, Deontay Hewer, and Nate Henry all duking it out. Same with Brian Wilderson. He got the yellow flag he was hoping for. He finds himself in the 10th position, trying to go through this field here in these closing stages. As Munson looks to the inside of the 0 machine, also further on in front, Andrew Payne to the outside of Stephen Hoffman for 3rd position. Looks like Andrew Payne will be able to get clear. Now the question is, how much of his tires did he use up battling the 23 for 3rd? Does he have enough to run down the leaders? And most importantly, does he have enough save to get around the leaders? As this time by, we see 13 laps to go here at the Iowa Speedway. Andrew Payne giving it all he's got as he's kicking out that rear end pretty much every single corner. He's trying to get on that loud pedal as quickly as possible to reel in these race leaders. A little bit further back, Brian Wilderson and Dave Payne both duking it out for the 10th position on the speedway. as Devin McDonald looks to the inside now of Hayden Swank. This is the battle for fifth, as McDonald looking not quite able to get the run as the 35 machine. And off of turn number 4, Nate Henry able to shut the door on Deontay Hero. Hero gets a piece of the wall there heading into turn number 1. Down the backstretch the field comes, but Ron Hart has closed in the gap. He's about 2 car lengths back, with Andrew Payne about 4 car lengths back behind Ron Hart. So this race is far from over as we see 2 open palms from the flagman. We see 10 laps to go this time by. As Ron Hart also very loose off of turn number 2. You saw that wheel crank to the right. He's trying to get everything he can. And let's ride on board with Ron Hart here in these closing laps. See what he's seeing as he tries to make the 3 machine make a mistake here with 9 laps to go. As you can see, folks, Ron Hart trying to stay right off the back bumper, or at least down to Riccardi in the corner, trying to get some air, out of the nose of this 51 machine, trying to stay out of the dirty air to try and get some traction off these corners. But this time at the line, we will see 7 to go as Ron Hart throws it in there to the inside of Donovan Cardi. He tries to make it stick, but not quite enough, as Ron Hart has nailed that move in the pass. We'll probably see at least one more attempt from him if he can get back to the back bumper of that 3 machine, as Andrew Payne's right there as well. As further on back, Devin McDonald trying to get around Hayden Swank. Also in this mix is the 59 machine of Nathan Henry. Devin McDonald able to get the pass done, but we'll have to push on up. We see 3 wide here for 5th on the speedway, as Hayden Swank able to thread the needle. Now Nate Henry still looking to the inside, as these guys are far from over, duking it on out. As now we'll see Hayden Swank down low, Devin McDonald up top, as Hayden Swank will throw the same move, slide on up in front of the 18 machine. 18 machine will cut it down low. As that time by, we will see 5 laps to go. As further up front, about 1.5 car lengths between these race leaders here in these closing stages. Oh, that time Devin right on the left rear quarter of Hayden Swank. Hayden able to defend, but now this opens the door to Kyle Munson, who's to the inside of Nathan Henry here with 4 laps to go. Up front, we get side-by-side racing action for the race lead. Ron Hart looking to the inside of the 3. He'll shut the door on Andrew Payne headed down the backstretch. Off of turn number 4, these leaders will come. We will see 3 laps to go. The 3 car leading the way, as Ron Hart will probably have one more attack left in that car with about that much gap to our race leader. So he's got to save it up for this last lap, try and build up a run, and throw it probably down in there into turn number 3. As we get a yellow flag, folks, we'll see a green-white checkered, as we got to see what happened. I believe the 28 machine of Kyle Munson, same with the 00 of Deontay Hero, big time damage to both those cars, as Munson big time left side damage. We'll have to take a look here to see what happened, as 3 wide racing action here between Nate Henry, Devin McDonald, and Kyle Munson. I believe the incident was off at turn number 2, as Munson just barely clears Devin McDonald. McDonald, just gets in the back bumper of the 28 machine. 28 machine tries to save it and just gets clipped by Devin McDonald while turning right, and that sends him up in the wall. And Deontay here, just an innocent bystander, comes in there late. Heavy contact to the 28, and a very similar incident that we saw earlier in the night between Dave Payne and Tanner Tallarico. As we'll take a look here once again with the 28 machine. As you see the battle here, 3 wide. As we've had some incredible racing here tonight, folks, and it's far from over, as We got a few takers down pit road, but yeah, there's the contact. Just lifts up the 28 machine. Probably almost had that thing saved, but with that left front contact, sends him hard in the outside wall. And then Deontay here comes in there with the late hit to the right front of the 28 machine. As we have a little bit of strategy, Hayden Swank, John DeMeester, Dev McDonald, Tanner Tallarico, Brian Wilderson, all down pit road. It looks like about the top 7 stayed on out here for this green-white checkered. So it's about to get interesting here, folks. Can Donovan McCarty hang on to it? Will Ron Hart have something to say here as we're able to cool off the tires and give it one last go? As this time by at the line, we will see the lights 2 to go, so we'll be waiting in anticipation for another green-white checkered, this time of course for the main event. Looks like Hayden Swank will be restarting in the 9th position, so he's probably hoping for a quick green-white checker to get around some, or sorry, quick yellow flag, get around a few cars, get the yellow before they take the white, and try and get a shot at these leaders when it's all said and done. As this time by at the start finish line, we'll see the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car, and we will see our first attempt at a green-white checkered here. Donovan McCarty will be leading us to the green in the 3. Ron Hart in 2nd, trying to make it 2 in a row. Andrew Payne in 3rd. Stephen Hoffman 4th. As we'll definitely need a far out camera here for this restart. A lot of action is going to be happening, especially around that mid-pack. The first car on fresh tires is that 35 machine, that green 35 of Hayden Swank, so we got to keep an eye on him. As off of turn number 4 of the field comes, we get ready for our first attempt at a green-white checkered. These drivers are fired up, getting ready to jump on the loud pedal. Donovan McCarty down and away. He gets away with a great start. Ron Hart now tries to throw the block on Stephen Hoffman as the field dives down into turn number 1. McCarty doing what he needs to do in that 3 machine over Ron Hart. Ron Hart about 3 car lengths back, further on back. Hayden Swank trying to make his way through the field. He's already around Lee Campbell as Devin McDonald right on the back bumper of Tanner Tallarico. He gets a great run. Big time contact at the start finish line. They are wrecking big here. A lot of cars involved. Tanner Tallarico, Hayden Swank, all involved as a lot of junk. But that was after the white flag. We stay racing as Andrew Payne gets in the wall down the backstretch, and Ron Hart with a big send. Contact for the race win. Ron Hart gets in the back of Carty. He's slow. This opens up the door for Stephen Hoffman off of turn number 4. Stephen Hoffman wins this race. That was insane, folks. Andrew Payne somehow ends up 2nd. Nate Henry in 3rd. As wow, that was crazy, folks. I mean, we almost need a full replay on the white flag lap just to figure out what happened. But off of turn number 4, we saw Kyle Munson and Lee Campbell make contact here. We're going to go watch that one first, as a lot happened. As you see Lee Campbell trying to respect the 3 wide. They just clip Hayden Swank. Big time contact for all those cars. Brian Wilderson somehow slips on through, and then down the backstretch they come. We got to see what happened to Andrew Payne, because he gets a piece of the wall. I think he was just pushing too hard. Slid up out of the groove. As, yeah, there was a lot of damaged race cars. You see Tanner Tallarico, one of them. As, yeah, Andrew Payne gets a piece of the wall. But now we got to watch for this race win. Donovan Carty, Ron Hart, big send from that 51 Menards machine. He tries to make it work. Donovan Carty trying to run his line, take that line away. He shuts the door a little bit too late. He goes around, somehow saves that car. Everyone else stacks on up and keep their foot in it. but they make it at least to the line, and almost Andrew Payne steals that one away, but Stephen Hoffman steals it away in a big way. He picks up the win. As wow, folks, we'll be right back on the other side to talk with the top three, but that was a crazy one there for Stephen Hoffman to get that win. Alrighty, folks, we are back here at the Iowa Speedway, and first we'll be dialing up our third place finisher, that being the 59 machine of Nate Henry, coming out from nowhere with that last lap craziness, and we get ready to rock and roll and see what Nate Henry has to say with that finish. Nate, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, I got you, Brett.
Oh man, Nate, that was a crazy race and a crazy finish. We'll first start with that last lap. I mean, what was going through your mind, especially off of turn number 4 there?
I don't know. My spotter was just screaming words. I didn't even know. Hammer down, you know. Got to just hold my line and get through it all.
And that you did, Nathan. I mean, coming up here with a third place finish after it's all said and done, that's got to feel pretty good from this monster 59 machine.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I love Iowa. Iowa's such a great track. You know, multi-lane. You can really rip the top. You know, you can carry your momentum around the bottom. It's a great track. Had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a blast here. This car track combo putting on a show for the fans tuning on in. I gotta tell you what, Nate, you seemed very fast here tonight, especially in the long run. It seems like you've gotten a lot better at tire saving and really keeping a good pace, especially when a run goes to the longer side of things.
Yeah, I like to think that I have a pretty good advantage when it comes to the long run. You know, we had that caution there about midway through, and I felt like I was on rails. I was punching air with that mid-race caution.
Yeah, and I even go back to last week at Lucas Oil, and that 59 machine was moving there, especially in the long run when it seemed like a lot of drivers were losing that right front. That 59 machine was keeping smooth, and I tell you what, you made up a lot of time to a lot of cars there that race even. So glad we get to talk to you tonight about that race last week.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Yeah, last week was a great confidence boost. You know, tonight coming out third. You know, there's some chaos in the last lap that helped me a little bit, but yeah, it was a good run. Got to thank my spotter, Dawson. You know, he did a great job kind of picking me through that. You know, running really tight with the 18 and Hayden there too. We were running really tight mid pack.
Yeah, there was some awesome racing all throughout the night, Nate, and it's good to see you up in the podium here, up in the booth with me, because I tell you what, you definitely shown some great improvement, Nate. I always like to say you're one of the most improved drivers. It seems like every season you keep on getting faster and faster.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
That it is, and then, you know, start setting those next goals. So awesome job from you, Nate. Before we let you go and celebrate this podium position here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 59 crew.
Yeah, you know, really got to thank my spotter. You know, I picked up a spotter this season. Dawson's been a huge help to me. Really helped me pick my way through traffic. You know, a lot of 3-wide racing tonight with the multi-lane racing. So big help having him on board. And, yeah, thanks for having me up here, Brett.
Yeah, it's always been a pleasure having you, Nate. Glad we could get a word in with you, especially the great runs you've been having just outside the podiums, and now you get to be on up here. So, Nate, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you hopefully some more here in the future.
Yep, thanks, Brett. Hey, thanks to all the admins here tonight too. Big thanks to you guys. You know, putting on the show every week.
Yep, they do an awesome job. So have a good one, Nate.
Yep, thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that will do it for our third place finisher. Now we'll dial up P number 2, that being the 93 machine of Andrew Payne. Andrew, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
I got a copy.
Oh man, Andrew. So first, we'll start in reverse chronological order. What was going on through your mind through that last lap, and even just the green-white checkered, but especially that last lap there?
Well, first I was like, man, I threw this one away. Um, on that restart, I got some bad corners in, and got really loose off of 2 on the white flag lap, and was probably gonna fall back down to 6th, and then I got stuck on the high side, and I saw that they were starting to wreck, and I saw that there was a hole, and I don't like to do this a lot because it's sort of not the cool thing to do, but I saw that there was a hole, and I just kept it wide open, and you know, I ended up finishing second there. I know Nate and I were really close on that finish, but yeah, I kind of backed into a second place tonight. We were fast all night. Don't get me wrong. That last caution hurt a little bit, especially with my bad strategy call myself. But man, this car was on rails tonight. Set sail once we got some clean air, but it was fun. I don't normally run in this series a ton or at all, and not since we've switched to the ARC cars, but it was a real blast.
Yeah, I tell you what, Andrew, it looked like a very fun car track combo tonight. And yeah, what'd you figure out to figure out some speed? Because, like you said, that 93 machine looked on rails, especially in this first half of this main event.
Just from some previous races here, especially we ran Iowa in our short track series a couple weeks ago. The bottom is really good. That's where you want to be. The top side does work, but it has a tendency to burn off tires. So I went to the top really early, especially in our sprint race. And people just sort of followed me up there, and then I think people were burning off their right fronts a lot because as soon as they all went up to the top, I went to the low side. Um, ran around there unless I had to make passes, but yeah, the car felt really good. I don't know what it is if I was pushing and as well as saving the right front better, or if I was just off pace just enough from the hot lap um, portion of the race to where I could save a little bit better on the long run. I'm not sure because I don't normally drive these cars on the sim in general. I don't drive this fuel load ever with the slightly lower fuel load, so it was sort of went in blind tonight, but the car was so good. It felt really good, and really happy with how the night went overall.
Yeah, I tell you what, Andrew, a great rebound to that second position, especially with that craziness there on the last lap. Could have easily been involved, but trusted your instincts, drove through the smoke, and ended up P number 2. That's pretty impressive, especially with how much speed you had here tonight.
Yeah, I can't complain, and it was really fun being able to run with these guys. Normally being the out of the car race control, tonight was one of our kind of a special night for me to run. Some slightly unfortunate news with the series, but I won't get into that on the stream itself. But it was really fun running, and I wish I could run this series more. I'd love to come to Iowa, put us here in the Xfinity car, the next gen, the ARCA, the super late model. I don't care. It was a lot of fun. Normally the high side here doesn't really work very well, but it was fun, and I would really like to be able to come back here again and run with these guys. It was some really solid racing.
Oh yeah, Iowa's one of those tracks that it seems like no matter what car you throw at it, it always puts on a great show. But before I let you go and celebrate this P number 2, Andrew, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on this 93 machine.
Well, first and foremost, huge thanks to you, Brett, and to the Turn 3 guys for broadcasting these races. I know you guys put in a ton of work, not just for this series, but all across the board for all of the series and divisions that you guys broadcast. So I really appreciate it. Huge shout out to all the admins of ASRC as well for putting on the league. I really, really happy to have found a solid home here at ASRC as a race control and admin and a racer. Huge shout out to all my partners, QuickTime Motorsports Media, Ryko Performance, Holland Metal Fab, Citrus Hot Lawn Mower, V&H Fresh. Huge shout out to my parents and grandparents for supporting me in all my forms of racing. huge thanks to all of the fellow competitors that come out and race each and every week across all of our series. Their support to the league and the series means a lot. And last but certainly not least, huge thanks to all the fans that come out and support not just this series, but the broadcast and the league. We wouldn't be here without you guys continuing to support all across the board for everything. And I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your guys' evenings to come watch us run some virtual circles.
Yeah, Andrew, awesome job there here tonight. And once again, even from me in the booth, thank you for all the work you've done with this awesome series. I tell you what, this has turned into a great series. So, Andrew, keep up the hard work, and I know we'll have some great stuff to come. So, Andrew, it's always been a pleasure chatting with you here in the booth. You have yourself a great rest of the night.
Thank you. You too, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. And now we will jump down to Victory Lane and chat with the man of the hour, the one that gets the job done, sneaks one away, let's say, there at the end. It's the 29 machine of Steven Hoffman. Steven, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear, Steven. First, we got to go in kind of reverse chronological order. How was it? That last lap was insane. Tell us what you saw in that 23 machine there.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was a chance that would happen, but I wasn't sure. Andrew and we were close, so I figured third place would be a battle. And then coming out of 4, I seen Ron get into him, and they both checked out, and I kind of seen a hole, and I floored it, and I was able to keep it in front of Andrew and get the win. Sucks it worked out like that, but right place, or yeah, you know what I mean. I was there at the right place.
Exactly, Steven. I always love to say, it does take a lot of skill, let's say, to win and put yourself into a winning position. But it also, of course, it's racing. It takes a little bit of luck. And I tell you what, you had it on your side tonight. And I think this is your first ASRC win here at the Iowa Speedway here tonight.
Hey, that's correct. First win with the league and ASRC in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to feel pretty good for yourself. You add yourself to an elite list of winners here in this series. I mean, a lot of fast drivers here in this series and all the other series. So you add yourself to the elite list. I mean, how's that feel down here in Victory Lane?
It feels pretty good coming from, I'm heavy in the dirt side of things. So coming over here in the asphalt, I knew it would be a struggle, but I can keep up with these guys, but I have a real hard time passing. Passing on the inside, my POV's not, peripheral vision's not all there yet, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that it is, especially here at the Iowa Speedway and these ARCA cars. They always put on a great show, especially, like I said, here at Iowa. It's such a fun, racy track that it really, let's say, brings out the skill in the drivers. And, Steven, you put it on the show. I mean, you got to start up front and lead some laps there early. I mean, that thing looked pretty fast from that main event here tonight.
Yeah, it was real fast out of the hole, and then on the long run, I was burning my tires up more, I think, trying to keep up. And then that last green-white checkered was a blessing, I guess.
Yeah, that put on some wild racing, Steven, and you come away with the win, your first win at ASRC. So once again, big congratulations from me in the booth. Like I said, you add yourself to an elite list of names to pick up a win. And yeah, tell us a little bit about if you weren't on iRacing, what would you be spending your time doing? What does Steven enjoy to do in his free time?
We run a sport modified in real life. I need to get to work on that thing, but this is a lot more fun right now than working on the cold garage. So I'd probably be rinsing on that thing if it wasn't for this stuff.
Oh, awesome stuff. Always enjoy it. Another modified person. We're some of the best out there. I got a pavement Midwest modified myself, so another modified guy down in Victory Lane, always a good sign.
Yep, them skinny tires sure to teach you how to be easy on the throttle.
Oh, that it does, Steven. So before we let you go and celebrate down in Victory Lane, we won't keep you too much longer, but we'll hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 23 crew.
Thanks. I think Mom and Dad are watching tonight, my brother Kyle. Thanks to you guys for Turn 3 for doing the broadcast. That makes it pretty neat so everybody can watch. There's something to do in the wintertime when there's not a lot to do. So ASRC for throwing everything on, and Andrew for keeping the league going.
Yeah, well, Steven, awesome job here once again. Be sure to keep us up to date on that modified racing. I always enjoy keeping up with the modified action throughout the U.S. here, so be sure to keep us in line. But yeah, tell you what, best of luck in the season. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more, as I think you might be one of the best to improve throughout the season as you work on your pavement side of things. Already showing a lot of speed from that 23 machine.
Yep, let's hope so. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Steven. I'll let you go. Continue to celebrate down in Victory Lane. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that was our race winner, Stephen Hoffman, getting the job done here at Iowa, picking up his first ever ASRC win. So now, folks, we'll head on over to the race results and get things wrapped up on my end. Stephen Hoffman in the 23 machine picks up his first win. Andrew Payne in the 93 will finish in second, rounding out the podium. Nate Henry in the 59. Fourth goes to Ron Hart in the 51. Donovan Carty in the 3 will finish fifth. Sixth goes to Dave Payton in the 38. Seventh, Kyle Munson in the 28. Eighth is Hayden Swink in the 35. Ninth is Brian Wilderson in the 951. Rounding out the top 10 is John DeMeester in the 2. 11th is Devin McDonald in the 18. 12th, Tanner Talarico in the 1. Lee Campbell in the 27. 13th. And Deontay Hura in the 00 will finish in 14th. So, folks, we got to give a big shout out to Andrew with this series. He does an awesome job. So, got to give a shout out to him and all the admins here at ASRC. Got to give a shout out to all the viewers tuning in here live and in the replay mode. Wouldn't be possible without you guys. Of course, got to thank all the racers here jumping in tonight, putting on a show. If you're looking to join on in, be sure to check out AmericanSimRacingClub.com and the American Sim Racing Club on the iRacing Simulator. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth from Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to check out Turn 3 Racing Network throughout the week, as we have a lot of great racing and a lot of great series to broadcast. Everyone out there at home, stay safe, have a good one, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth